Om, 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 Om Sahana Vavatu, Sahanau Bhunaktu, Sahaviryam Karavavahe, Tejasvinavadhitamastu, Ma Vidvishavahe. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Boliye Shri Chinmaya Surya Narayana Bhagwan ki Jai. Shri Sadgurunath Maharaj ki Jai. Om Sada Shiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidwaram Sadgurum Brahma Vidwaram. Om Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. Hari Om. Welcome on this beautiful International Day for Yoga and Music. We will celebrate both yoga and music by remembering Ishvara from Swara to Ishvara. Swara means breath, which refers to yoga, pranayama. Swara also means the 7 notes, sapta swaras. The sounds of the 7 notes of music is also called swara. And that swara leads us to Ishvara. Ishvara is that Lord within, the prana shakti within that guides all our activities, our thoughts, our decisions, and our movements. Everything, our very life is dependent on this Ishvara, which is within us. And so both yoga and music take us to that Ishvara. They are all paths to that truth within. And on this beautiful day, when everybody is celebrating this one-pointedness of mind through yoga asanas, pranayama, and musical renditions in all parts of the world today, we will look into this text by a very, very beautiful small text of three verses. It is called Bodha Sara. It is written by Swami Tejomayananda, called Puja Guruji in Chinmaya Mission. He was the global head of Chinmaya Mission. And he has written this text called Bodha Sara during his contemplative moments. It is the essence of knowledge. Sara means essence. Essence is the juice of something, the juice of existence, the juice of life, the juice of all our actions and activities. What is it? And that is consciousness. Sara is that which makes the fruit, the juice of a fruit is called Sara or essence. Without that essence, it is meaningless to eat that fruit. Like a wax orange will not have the Sara of orange. A real orange has the Sara of orange. A real apple has the Sara of apple. And the Sara makes it apple. Otherwise, it is just an apple doll, apple object, apple-like object. So what is the Sara or the essence of life? And how do we know it? And what is the need to know this Sara? What is the need to know this essence? So this, and what are the means to know this, is being explained in these very beautiful verses. There is a refrain to these verses, and the refrain goes like this. एकमेवा द्वितीयं हि ब्रह्म निर्गुणं निश्चलं निर्विकारम् एकमेवा द्वितीयं हि ब्रह्म एकमेवा अद्वितीयं हि ब्रह्म. This Brahma or the essence, the truth, the Sara, that we should know. Bodha means to know. Sara is the essence. That essence is called Brahma. It is called Brahma because Brihatvat. It is very big. Big what? Bigness of everything is Brahman. You have big mountain, big river, big lake, big country, big person, big animal, big bag, so many things, big something, big something. But here there is no thing to that big. The quality of bigness, the quality that gives lenses greatness to everything, that is Brahman, Brihatvat. And then something that is big also takes care of everything else. Here, this Brahman is so big that it holds everything. It takes care of everything. Brihatvat, Brahma, Bharanat, Brahma. Bharana means that which holds everything together. Brahma. What is it, Brahma? There is only one. Ekameva advitiyam. This word ekam is very beautiful in mathematics. In math, ekam means one. How does it get that meaning? Eti gacchati. Eti means to go, to reach. Gacchati means to go. It reaches and it goes. Sarvatra ekaha. This one thing reaches everything. The one thing goes everywhere. That is this number one. Because in number one, you don't have two, you don't have three, you don't have four, you don't have 99. In number one, you have only number one. Whereas in two, there are two ones. In three, there are three ones. In four, there are four ones. So that is the beauty of this number one. Ekameva advitiyam hi Brahma. This Brahma is one. It is advitiyam. It has got no other. One has got nothing other than one. It is only one. The Brahman, the quality of this bigness, the quality of holding everything, the quality of identifying with everything, that one identity which holds everything is that Brahma. It is only one. And what are the qualities of this Brahman? Nirgunam. It does not have any other quality. There is no other qualities than that Brahman alone. It does not have Sattva Guna. It does not have Rajo Guna. It does not have Tamo Guna. It is not bright. It is not knowledgeable, or it is not the one by means of which we know. It is not that. It is not Sattva Guna. It is not knowledge. It is a source of knowledge, but it is not knowledge. It is not Rajoguna. It does not move anywhere. It does not go anywhere. It does not have any dynamism, or it does not have any depression also. It is not Rajoguna. It is not Tamoguna. Tamoguna is, it does not have any grossness. It is not material in nature. It is basically the essence, the spirit, the light of consciousness. It is not solid object, and it is not revealed to our eyes. It is us, who we are in reality. Nirgunam, Nischalam. This Brahman does not move. This Brahman does not go anywhere. You cannot catch this Brahman. You cannot hold Brahman. You cannot do anything to this Brahman. You cannot chase this Brahman. You cannot hide this Brahman. You cannot, this Brahman does not move at all. Nischalam. Nirvikar vikaram. It does not change any forms. It is formless. A formless cannot change into forms. The quality of formlessness is formless. So only form is subject to change. The formless includes change in it. Change is part of the formless. It does not change into something else. Like the ocean is formless. It is very, very big. Formless means infinite form is called formless. Something that you cannot hold and say it is this particular form. It is this infinite. In nature, there is formless. And the ocean includes the waves, the moving waves, it includes the bubbles, it includes the froth, it includes the foam. Into it, it includes all the changes. By itself, it is changeless. The ocean is the ocean only. The ocean is water only. The water is only the bubble, the water is only the froth, the water is only the ocean, the water is only the wave, and the water is only the surf. Everything in that ocean is water only. It has no change. But the names and forms are changing within it. So in Vedanta, there are three types of differences. Sajatiya Bheda, Vijatiya Bheda, Swagata Bheda. So there are no differences in Brahman. To point out that there are no differences, we should know what are the differences. Sajatiya Bheda means in cows, there is this Jersey cow, there is the Desi cow, there is the Rajapalayam cow, there is the Ongol cow. So many different varieties and breeds of cows are there. So that is called, in the cow jati, in the cow group, there are many differences. In the in the neem tree group or in the Vilva tree group, there is this ordinary Vilva, there is a Sadai Vilvam, it is called, which has got very tiny, tiny leaves, Bilva leaves. Or in the Azadiracta indica, the neem tree group, there may be different varieties of neem trees also. This is called, or another best example is mango. We have Alfonso mango, Banganapalli mango, Dasheri mango, and Appos mango, Kesar mango. So many different mangoes are there. But you say everything is mango only. Among colors also, in yellow color also, you have mango yellow, you have lemon yellow, you have chrome yellow. So many colors are there in yellow. But everything is yellow in color. Sajatiya Bheda. Vijatiya Bheda is the different types in that color itself. In colors, there is violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red, and different shades of all that. Infrared, ultraviolet, and a mixture of all these colors. So that is Vijatiya Bheda. Swagata Bheda. In our own body, we have different parts of the body. Even if there is hair, there's different colors. There's gray hair, there's black hair, and then when we dye our hair, it is of different colors. Then you have face. In the face, there are so many differences. There is nose, there is eyes, there's eyebrows, there's forehead, there's ears, hands, legs, toes, fingers, knuckles. Inside the body, there is so much of difference. Swagata Bheda. In itself, there are differences. This Brahman has got no difference. No Sajatiya, no Vijatiya, no Swagata. Meaning when we say Brahman, it is a sound which denotes something. It is a word which evokes a thought in us. What is a thought in us that is evoked when we utter the word Brahman? That one thought of everything, one thought of the one that holds everything. Swajatiya, Vijatiya, Swagata, Bheda. There is no Bheda in Brahman. Ekameva Advitiyam. Only when there is Bheda, only when there is difference, there is duality. In this Brahman, since there is no difference, there is no duality at all. Ekameva advitiyam hi. He, that word means certainly, conclusively, determinedly, there is no difference in this Brahman. Even that word Brahman causes a subtle difference from other objects and things, but that word Brahman is not Brahman. What that word points out to, the quality of oneness, the quality of unity. And when we say oneness and unity, we don't need to think it is a logical term. It is a very living term in us. It is a very loving expression in us. That feeling of love, that feeling of harmony, that feeling of yoga, which they are celebrating today all over the world. What is that yoga? That yoga is oneness. Why do we practice yoga? Brahman is one. We are one. But we don't understand that oneness. We don't feel that oneness. So we practice yoga. We practice pranayama to experience that oneness, to feel that oneness, who we actually are, who we actually are. So the secret urge is to attain something, not just to know it. It's not enough. Okay, if you say, I like ice cream, and somebody comes and says, okay, ice cream, it's not going to make me happy. When I eat that ice cream only, I will feel happy. In the same way, just by saying Brahman, we will not experience that oneness. What we need to be, in what way we need to hold ourselves, what way we need to feel. So that only brings us the experience of Brahman. So this verse begins with that riff. Ekameva dvitiyam hi Brahma nirgunam nischalam nirvikaram ekameva dvitiyam hi Brahma. So the next verse is, the first verse is, Atra Vedantameva Pramanam Bodhaka Sadgurus Tatvanishta Ishwarano Grihitena Vedyam Ekameva Dvitiyam Hi Brahma. Atra, in this Brahman, to know this Brahman, the truth, what is the proof? What is a pramana? To know this is a clock, I have eyes and I have this glasses, through which the glasses are the pramana to show me this clock. In the same way, what is the proof? What is the means through which I know this Brahman? Vedanta, the thought of Vedasya Antaha, the end of Veda, the end of knowing is consciousness. The thought of I, that consciousness alone, is the proof of Brahman. Does Brahman have any other proof? It itself is a proof. Does the sun need any other proof to reveal its existence? The sun needs no proof in daytime. It itself is a proof. In the night time, does the moon need any proof? Or do the stars need any proof? They themselves are the proof. In the same way, Brahman, the very fact that I know, I am aware, even if I don't know, I know that I don't know. That I, which knows and doesn't know, is that Brahman. So it itself is a standing proof. Vedantameva pramanam. Okay, how is the standing proof realized? Do we all know? Are we born with this knowledge? When we are born in this world, do we know that we are Brahman? Do we know that consciousness is Brahman? Are we born with that awareness? We are only born with the awareness of the world. We look at the world and step by step we learn about objects in the world. We learn about people in the world. We learn about situations in the world. We do not know the knower. The telescope is not aware The seer through the telescope is thinking that the telescope is showing that star. He is not aware that the eyes are showing the stars through the telescope, and behind the eyes, he is the person who is seeing. Even the scientist is not aware of the one who sees everything behind the eyes. How do we know then? Bodhaka Sadguru Statvanishtaham. There is, before the Guru comes in our life, what do? We keep collecting dewdrops in the morning, thinking they are pearls and precious gems. The dewdrop is shining in the light of the sun. We keep collecting, putting them in leaves and collecting dewdrops, thinking that they are very precious. When the sun shines bright and there is heat, the dewdrop is going to go away. In the same way, we do not know what is precious. It is that Sadguru, the Guru, the teacher. Who is a Sadguru? The one who teaches music is a music teacher. The one who teaches dance is a dance teacher. The one who teaches violin is a violin teacher. The one who teaches management is a management teacher. The one who teaches about Sat, truth, is Sat Guru or Sat teacher. Guru means teacher. Sat Guru who? How is it Sadguru? He is not a teacher who has studied the Vedanta and the Upanishads and has left all that and is indulging in the worldly life of names, forms, and qualities, earning money, spending, hoarding, and doing all such stuff for selfish reasons. A Sadguru is one who has gained this knowledge from the Guru Parampara and is established in that knowledge and living in that knowledge. That is a Sadguru. Tattva Nishtaha. He is immersed in that Tattva at all times. He is standing tall, but he is aware that the Tattva is surrounding him everywhere. When we say immersed, we don't need to imagine somebody taking a dip and being so low. A person who knows the truth is the one who stands tall in this world because he knows everywhere the truth is. There is no need to crouch or bend for anything, to gain anything in life. So that is a Tattva Nishtha. From that Tattva Nishtha teacher, he points us out to the truth through the Mahavakyas. Vedantameva Pramanam. The Mahavakyas. Aham Brahmasmi. Tattvamasi. I am Atma Brahma. Prajnanam Brahma. Through this, the Sadguru teaches us. And how else do we know? Ishwaranu grihitena vedyam. Through God's grace. Ishwaranu anugrihita. If the desire to know the truth is there, I hold the desire. I want to know the reality of who I am. That desire comes and Ishvara is there. Prana is there in us. That prana holds the desire for us. Grahanam, anugrahanam. Grahanam means holding. I hold the desire and prana also holds the desire for me. Anugrahanam, holding along with me, holding space. Ishvara is the one who holds space for us. Ishvaranugrihitena eva. Only by Ishvara's blessing. Anugraha is also blessing. Only with the blessing of Ishvara. So Adi Shankaracharya says, Pumsam Advaita Vasana, how many? It is only with, it is only with the grace and blessings of Ishvara we get Bahun in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7. Bahunam janmanam ante jnanavan mam prapadyate vasudeva sarvamiti samahatma sudurlabham. Bahunam janmanam. After many lifetimes, we see a person who becomes a jnanavan, or the one who knows the truth. Ishvaranugrahat eva pumsam advaita vasana. In the Viveka Chudamani, Ishvara Anugrahat eva, only with the blessing of Ishvara, the individual gains the vasana or the feeling or the desire to know what is this non-dual reality. Ishvara Anugrahat Anugrahitena Ishvara Anugrahitena eva. By the teaching of the Satguru, Sadguru is the one who knows the truth and who lives a life immersed in the truth. Sadguru and Anugrahana of Ishvara, Bhagavan's blessings, we get to know the truth. So, how do we know the infinite truth? And what is the result of this realization? The second verse. Jnanagamyam turiyam hridistham Atmarupam hi tadyena jnatam Sodhvanah param apnoti satyam Ekameva dvitiyam hi brahma Jnanagamyam turiyam hridistham. How is this consciousness known? How is this Brahman known? Jnana Gamyam. It is reached by knowledge. It is reached by understanding. Knowledge means not thought. Knowledge is the understanding which follows. The thought is a combination of words. When we either receive the thought through our ears or when we invoke the thought from within, when we invoke those words from within, a meaning is formed in that place. That experience of that meaning, the aha moment, when I experience a meaning of something, that aha moment is because of the wisdom, the knowledge, jnana gamyam. By that knowledge, this Brahman is reached. What is this Brahman? Turiyam. It is a fourth state. What is the fourth state? Actually, there is no fourth state, but it is not three. So it is four. That way. It is one, but this one is four because it is not 1, 2, and third state. What is the first, second, and third state? The waking state of experience. I am awake now. This consciousness is looking at the world through the waking state thought. I am not the waking state thought. I am I, the self, who looks through this. Like I am looking through the glasses. I am not the glasses. I am the one who is looking through these glasses. In the same way, the consciousness is the one that is looking through the thought is the one that is looking through the eyes. The consciousness is the one that is looking through the thought. Jnana gamyam. It is looking through the thought and experiencing itself. Turiyam, the waking state, the dream state, and the deep sleep state. These three states, I am not. I am the fourth state. Chaturtham manyante. It is not, I am the fourth state means there is not a number 4. It is Chaturtham Manyante. It is considered as the fourth. Considered the fourth because it is not the first, second, and third. That is Atma, I. I am there in the waking state. That is why I am able to see everything and understand everything and respond to everything. I am there in the dream state where I am seeing many dreams. Sometimes I even respond in the dreams. I am there in the deep sleep state. I experience and I don't know. And I experience having slept very well. And when I wake, how do I know I experience? When I wake up, I know this experience. So I am there in the deep sleep state. In the fourth state, where there is no dream, where there is no deep sleep, and where there is no waking objects, in that fourth state is this Brahman. So this Ramalinga Vallala sang a very beautiful song. Tannayarindinbamura வெண்ணிலாவே ஒரு தந்திரம் நீ சொல்ல வேண்டும் வெண்ணிலாவே யாரும் அறியாமலிங்கே வெண்ணிலாவே அருளாளர் வாரோ சொல்லாய் வெண்ணிலாவே. He says in the subsequent verses, show me a place where there is no sleep and dream. So that is that Brahman. Jnana Gamyam, it is attained by Jnana. Jnana is wisdom. Jnana is not knowledge. Jnana is not thoughts. For example, what is the difference between thought and wisdom? The word love is a thought. But when you experience that love for someone, that is wisdom. Because you are experiencing love. It is not a thought in your head. It is an experience in your heart. So that is jnana. Jnana gamyam. Through that experience of jnana, we can understand the presence of this fourth state, turiyam. Where is this hridi stham? Hridi means it is in the core of my feelings. I am angry, we say. Where I became angry. When you say I am there and anger is there, so that is the heart. At the heart of anger, I am there. I am there, love is there. At the heart of love, I am there. The essence of love is I. The essence of anger is I. The essence of jealousy is I. Atmanastu kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati. Everything is dear to us because of the presence of I, the consciousness, Brahman. Atma Rupam hi tad yena jnatam. How do I know? It is jnana gamyam. I know. You say, I know. I am aware. I know. How do I know? As my own self. I know that I am. That's all. There's nothing else to it. There's no other experience in that except I. The feeling of I. When you see this clock, or when you see any object, you have different experiences. You have the experience of time, you have the experience of numbers, you have the experience of the hands, you have experience of movement, then you have the experience of colors, you have experience of shape, you have experience of space within, space without, you have the experience of technology. So many experiences are there in many objects that we see. But in I, there is the experience of I only. There is no other. You say I loving, I angry, I sad, I happy. That's why in the English language, it is only I. You say I am happy, I am is there, and then only everything else comes. You cannot I happy. You don't say I happy, I sad, I blissful. It is wrong English. It is wrong grammar. So this I is only I. There's nothing else in that. There's no other experience in I other than I. There is Atma Rupam. He. Tadyena Jnatam. So Advanaha Param Apnoti Satyam. Saha Advanaha. Advanaha means the shores of samsara. Samsara means change, modification, difference, anger, hatred, jealousy, love, greed, exhilaration, depression, highs, lows, success, failure, wants, don't want, inside, outside, like, dislike, don't know. Everything is samsara. Everything that has duality is samsara. Everything that has manyness is samsara. There is only oneness here. That is oneness is yoga. The experience of yoga is the experience of the self. That is why yoga is so sought after in the world today. Because when you do yoga, you feel good. That feeling good is very close to the self. When you practice cleanliness and tidiness, the tidiness gives a feeling of oneness. Otherwise, there's many, there's dust, there's dirt, there's confusion, there is chaos, so many other thoughts are there. In a tidy room, there's only one thought of tidiness, or beauty, or wonder, amazement, feeling of goodness. Only that one thought is there. So that is the reason why anything that takes us to one thought we like very much. In night also, why do we like sleep? Because there is one thought of no thought. There is only one thought, and that thought is there is no thought. And because that there is that one thought for a long period of time, we love sleep. Saha advanaha param. Why we love one thought? Because we don't want change. We like comfort. We like to be happy. We don't want to exert ourselves. So we like that oneness. Saha advanaha param apnoti. So this person who realizes the truth within, he goes to the shores of samsara, meaning he dissolves into that oneness where samsara or change cannot touch. You go to the core of that, you go to the juice of the orange, you go to the juice of the apple, and in the juice of the apple, you don't experience being cut, you don't experience being mutilated, you don't experience being peeled, you don't have the experience of seeds being removed, you don't have the experience of being carved out. I'm giving the example of an apple. Imagine yourself to be an apple. If you are an apple, you are subject to samsara when the person is peeling the skin and the person is cutting into pieces. Just imagine, I am an apple. It's very easy. Then I am the body is very difficult to go through all this imagination. It is torture. So I am an apple, you think. So the apple, when somebody is consuming it, it will be peeled. It will be cut into pieces. There will be pain because of that. And then it will be carved out. All the seeds will be removed out. So you will lose parts of yourself. The stalk will be removed out. You're holding on to the stalk thinking it is me. That stalk is going to be thrown off. And the apple is going to be eaten and chewed and enjoyed. Unmindful, mostly people who eat apples, they are not mindful, they are not enjoying the juice, they just eat it for the sake of eating. So mindfully you will be used by others, and then after you are being used, you will be thrown into the dustbin among other plastic litter, unless the person is very conscious and throws it in biodegradable waste back to earth, blessing the apple and singing a mantra for that, thanking. It doesn't happen normally in the world. So this is samsara. If you are an apple, you go through all this suffering. But when you identify yourself with all the parts of the apple, the skin is me, the flesh is me, the seed is me, the stalk is me, the core of the apple is me, the curvature inside is me, the worm or the black patch on the apple is me, everything you identify with, then you have to go through so much of suffering. Then there's comparison. That apple is very nice and red and shining and beautiful. Me, I am looking so ugly because one part of it is black in color, one part of it started decaying. They're not using me on time. All these worries and anxieties are there. But if you identify yourself with the juice of the apple as I, then you will not face any kind of mutilation, any kind of difference, any kind of assault. You will only be serving as a source of enjoyment for the user. The person, he will chew the apple and he will enjoy the juice and he will say it is very tasty, and you will be part of that enjoyment only. So here, Saha Advana Param Apnoti, the person who realizes the truth or realizes that I am Brahman, identifies himself with the truth as Brahman, he crosses the Param, he crosses the shore of samsara. There is no modification and change for him in his life, meaning everything is bliss. Apnoti satyam. Certainly this happens. Is there any doubt in this? No. It is for sure that this happens. The last verse, the vision and the experience of the man of realization. Brahmajnasya tu brahmaiva sarvam nasti moho bhayam naiva dukkham tasya swanandamagnam hi chittam ekameva dvitiyam hi brahma. Brahmajnasya tu brahma eva sarvam. Brahmajna, brahmavit, brahmaiva bhavati, says the Upanishads. The one who knows the Brahman, the one who knows the truth, becomes a Brahman alone. Brahma eva bhavati. Brahmajnaha. Brahmajna means the one who knows Brahman. Brahmajnasya, for the one who knows Brahman, Brahma eva sarvam, everything in this world is that Brahman alone, is that consciousness alone. You are consciousness, I am consciousness, all objects in this world are made up of consciousness. Brahma eva sarvam. In that knowledge, in that awareness of consciousness, nothing, no other emotion arises. What are the emotions? What are the ordinary emotions that can arise that give us sorrow in our life? Moha. Moha means delusion, confusion. It is not an emotion, it is a lack of clarity, it is a lack of knowledge. Moha. Clarity is thought, it is a feeling of clearness. Moha is confusion, the ignorance. The thought of ignorance is moha. In the present moment, I don't have any ignorance anywhere. There is clarity everywhere. Moha. Na bhayam. There is no fear about the future, what will happen to me. Only if I am believing I am the body, then there is a question of death, there is a question of old age, there is a question of insurance. How am I going to survive? What is going to happen to me? When I know I am the truth, there is no bhayam, there is no fear. Naiva dukkham. Whenever I think about the past, oh, this happened, that happened, the thoughts of sorrow come within me. Those thoughts don't arise in me because the one who is a Brahman gets detached from this body, mind, and intellect, like the bilva fruit, which becomes very ripe. And then once a fruit becomes ripe, you shake it, the inner fruit will be shaking and it will make a sound. It will get detached from that main crust. In the same way, the knower of Brahman gets detached from the body, mind, and intellect so completely, it doesn't shake or make a sound because there is nothing to shake inside. It becomes the unshakable oneself. And so there is no sorrow because the disconnection has happened completely. Like the skin of the snake which is molted, the snake is not feeling very sad or irritated or painful by removing that skin. It naturally removes the skin. That is why in this very beautiful Shiva mantra, Rudra mantra, Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva bandhanan mrityormukshi yamamritaat. The quality of vairagya or a detachment. The detachment takes us close to Brahman. It is a route, it is a cause for us to go to the Brahman. This Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim, this fragrant Pushtivardhanam, the one who increases my joy, is the Shiva who is I worship, the three-eyed Lord Shiva, the one who has got the sun, the moon, and consciousness as his three eyes. I worship that Lord Shiva who is the giver of increaser of joy in me, Pushtivardhanam. Urvarukam iva, like the cucumber fruit. Urvarukam is a cucumber. This cucumber keeps growing. It is a creeper, ground creeper. It is attached to the creeper by thin stem. It keeps growing, and when it reaches the maximum potential, it just comes off the main plant with ease. There is no pain in that release. There is no pain in that detachment. There is no pulling and pushing. That is why in the Bhajagovindam also, Bhagwan Adi Shankaracharya, we should not have any pain when we leave somewhere or when somebody leaves us in our life, some object leaves us, something leaves us. There should be no pain there. There should be just joy. It is joy to part with something. It is joy to move away from something. It is joy to be somewhere. And it is joy to be with something that you don't like. Everything is joy. Like that Urvarukam. It is the same even when it is attached to the plant. It does not move. And as it becomes big, big, big in its own greatness and glory, the fruit just detaches from the main plant. In the same way, the prayer is, may I, this consciousness, this awareness, detach myself from my reflection, from the reflection of consciousness with which I have identified myself with all this time. And because of that identity, only I'm having all these problems, because of this wrong identity. So may I be in my identity. So when I am in my identity, I am not caught in delusion. If I'm caught in the identity of life, and that life is fueling the intellect, the life is fueling the mind, the life is fueling the body, so automatically I am identified with everything else. If we have identity with one wrong person in our life, that wrong person will connect with so many people, so we will be identified with many unwanted people in our life. So that is the problem with identity. That is where this great Karna, who was born in the family of the Pancha Pandavas, he identified himself on the wrong side, and so he had to go through a lot of suffering in his life. So we don't have any, when you identify yourself as consciousness, there is no moha. In the present moment, there is no confusion. There is no bhayam. There is no fear. Naiva dukkham. There's no bhayam, there's no fear because I'm not thinking about the future. I'm not having thoughts about the future. Even neuroscience says, in future, thinking about the future, I can only think in terms of pain and anxiety. I cannot think in terms of pleasure. I cannot get any joy out of thinking out of the future. That thought does not hold any joy, even though it may be joyful or it may be pleasurable. That knowledge is not coming through in that future thinking. In the future thinking, there is only this experience of anxiety, worry, and fear. So to leave that future thought is the best thing to do. Na bhayam, na dukkham. When I'm thinking about the past, I don't think about the pleasurable moments. I don't think about the joyous moments of the past. It doesn't come easily to me to think about the joyous moments. It only the sorrowful moments, the abominable moments, the difficult times, only those thoughts come to me. So it is not going to help me in any way. And these three things will go away when I'm identified with consciousness. How do we do that? Every moment of the day, it is not something that you learn, you listen. It is a practice that we follow. It is a yoga abhyasa. Abhyasena tu kaunteya, vairagyena cha grihyate. Before knowing the self, Bhagavan Sri Krishna talks about quietening the mind. What is the means to quieten the mind? Even in today, International Yoga Day is being celebrated. Patanjali Maharishi, he mentions only these two as sadhanas. What is that? Chitta vritti nirodha, to quieten, to stop the movement of chitta vrittis, is sadhana, yoga. And how to quieten that? It is very difficult to stop the movement. They are very active. They are throwing up many, many fearsome thoughts, worryful thoughts, anxiety thoughts, hatred thoughts, loving thoughts. And we are caught between all the thoughts and we are constantly worried. How do we do it? I will get identified with the vrittis or the thoughts. So, abhyasena tu abhyasa vairagyabhyam tan nirodha. The thought movement can be stopped by abhyasa or practice, focusing or holding on to one thought. Vairagya is withdrawing from everything else, withdrawing from plurality, holding on to oneness. So this is the practice. So moment to moment, if there is some difficult situation right now and we are confused, we can even sit down, write on a paper what are all the different thoughts that I have. It will happen, it won't happen, I'm not sure it will happen, it is good, it is not good. All the different thoughts, we will write it down. And we can, when all the different thoughts are exhausted, we can just see what is that one thought within me. There is no one thought at all, other one thought, except the thought of consciousness. Only that is one. Everything else is different in this world. So you exhaust all the differences. Maybe you can write out all the differences in pencil and the one thought in pen. And then you can erase all the different thoughts after you write them down with an eraser, and you focus on that one thought, which is consciousness. When you get up from that meditative exercise, you see how your problem just vanishes. The problem is a problem because there are multiple thoughts which is being fed by the force of life, which is constantly generated here, and it becomes so strong and so heavy that it is pulling us at all times. When we don't empower those multiple thoughts, we focus on that one thought, which is consciousness, all problems will vanish like dewdrops on the leaf at the sight of the sun. So maybe tasya nasti moha bhayam dukkha. Na eva means indeed it is not there at all. Tasya swananda magnam hi chittam. So when we do this, when we meditate on this truth, on this quality expands in us, this knowledge expands in us, this feeling expands in us, that we become akhandakara vritti. This Brahma vritti, the one Brahman thought, becomes akhanda akara. It has got the form of the formless form in us is that Brahman. When the thought merges into that, there will be no sorrow. Like when you merge, there is a lot of distress on the banks of a river. But when you take a dip into the river completely, you forget everything outside. Like when you enter into a cinema theater, you might have had many problems outside or other distractions outside. But when you enter into a cinema theater, for those 3 hours, you don't know anything about what happens. In the same way, you don't know about moha. There is no delusion, there is no fear, there is no sorrow. These three are not there. This is the phalashruti. Or when I contemplate on the Brahman, when I meditate on the Brahman, what do I get in my life? Tasya swananda magnam hi chittam. That person's mind has become swananda magnam. It is immersed in its own self. The mind is nothing but thought. The thought is the mind. The thought becomes one pointed and it gets immersed in itself. It gets immersed in itself means the thought is sound. That sound is Om. It is born out of that space within. It immerses into that space within. In that space is consciousness. The sound is born out of consciousness. It is existing in consciousness. It is arising from consciousness and it merges back into consciousness. Swananda magnam hi chittam. That person's awareness, objective awareness is chittam. The thought is chittam. The chittam just drops into that consciousness. So this is the use or purpose of self-knowledge. That is ananda praptihi. Paramananda praptihi is this swananda magnam hi chittam. The person's mind gets immersed in the Brahman all the time. That is paramananda prapti. Atyantika dukkha nivritti. So the dukkha of that person, dukkha is mainly these three. Moha is giving me sorrow in the present moment. Shoka is the past, thoughts of the past is giving me sorrow now. Bhaya is the thoughts about the future giving me sorrow now. These three will not be there. These three thoughts will go away. And the only thought of the Brahman is there. And in the Chittam, in that mind, that only thought of Brahman is held, it just merges into its own self. When that light is shining, and the mirror is removed, there is no purpose for the light to shine. The light can just be switched off and merged into itself. When the torch light is switched off, you can say the light has merged into itself. The torch light of consciousness is not shining anything on anything, but it is just being in itself. So that is the essence of knowledge, the purpose of this knowledge, and the means to very beautiful three verses. The first verse is the essence. The second verse, the first refrain is essence. The second verse is where is it available? The how can it be known? The second verse is who can teach us? And the third verse is what is the prayojana? What is the use of this? Such a beautiful text. And I'm very happy to finish this series of talks on Chinmaya Surya channel on this auspicious day of International Yoga and Music Day with this Bodha Sara by Puja Guruji, Swami Tejomayananda ji. And with whatever knowledge we may have, with whatever blessings we may have in life, the only one thing that we need to know is we have to worship God, worship Ishvara. And what is the best way to worship? So we celebrate our International Music Day with worship of Ishvara through a small bhajan. Jaya Hari Govinda, Jaya Nanda Lala, Jaya Hari Govinda, Jaya Nanda Lala, Radha Lola, Rasa Vilola, Radha Lola, Rasa Vilola, Tribhuvana Paripala, Dina Dayala, Tribhuvana Paripala, Dina Dayala, Jaya Hari Govinda, Jaya Nanda Lala. Surdas Prabhu Karuna Sagar, Meera ke Prabhu Giridhar Nagar, Bhakta Sakha Bhagavan Gopala, Bhakta Sakha Bhagavan Gopala, Jaya Hari Govinda, Jaya Nanda Lala, Radha Lola, Rasa Vilola, Tribhuvana Paripala, Dina Dayala, Jaya Hari Govinda, Jaya Nanda Lala, Jaya Hari Govinda, Jaya Nanda Lala. बोलिए श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय. हर नमः पार्वती पतये, हर हर महादेव. हरि ओम.